Our verse for today is found in Matthew chapter 25, and it's going to be verse 40. It says, "And the king will answer and say to them, Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." Now, to understand that or to truly appreciate it, you have to back up a little bit and, what was he talking about here? Where did that come from? And if you back up just a few verses, in my study Bible, you go back to verse 31, and it's titled, "The Son of Man will judge the nations." And it's talking about separating the sheep from the goat. And he'll set one on his right hand and one on his left. And then in verse 37, no, my hands are so dry. Verse 34, it says, "Then the king will say to those on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then, verse 37, "Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And then our verse 40, "And the king will answer and say to them, Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me." And he's like, come, enter into your blessing. You've been faithful. You clothed me when I was naked. You came and saw me when I was in jail. When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. They're like, when did we do that? Well, every time you did it to anybody else, you did it to me. And then he says as much in verse 40, that you do to the least of these my brethren, you do also unto me. Well, why is that important? The way I have taught this for years is when you get mad at somebody and you go to tell them off, let's say it's the cashier at the store that's being a booger. Ooh, I didn't handle that well recently. Father, forgive me. The cashier at the store is being a booger. You may as well just put Jesus' face on him before you tell him off, because that what you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. And the guy that's in front of you going 20 miles an hour under the speed limit, may as well put Jesus in the seat while you're fussing and cussing, because that what you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. When you held the door for the elderly person coming in the store and waited, when you helped an elderly person or a disabled person or just somebody that appeared to need assistance, when you gave them a hand, loading groceries in the car, picking up something heavy, whatever. That which you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. And, it brings me into remembrance of a verse we talked about just recently. Bless those that curse you. Pray for those that spitefully use you. Love those that don't love you. And it was yesterday when we were talking about vengeance, because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay. You treat them just like you would anybody else. Walk in forgiveness with them. Walk in love with them. Because that which you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. Excuse me. We need to remember that no matter who it is we're fussing at, the mother-in-law that's hateful and spiteful and ugly, or father-in-law, or sister-in-law, or brother-in-law, or cousin, or mom, or dad, or neighbor, or co-worker, or stranger at the store. It doesn't matter how they treat you. It matters how you treat them. Are you treating them in a manner that is honorable before the Lord? Because he said, we talked about it, I think, either yesterday or the day before, do not repay evil for evil. Do not let evil overcome you, but overcome evil with good. He said, vengeance is mine. I will repay. You be nice to everybody. And this is not about behave yourself and getting your hand slapped. That last verse from yesterday, do not be overcome with evil. This is not letting the enemy get a foothold in your thinking, your feeling, or your being, and just letting God take the trash out. Bless those that curse you. Pray for those that spitefully use you. And keep in mind that what you do to the least of God's brethren, God's children, the people on this earth, your neighbors, that which you do to the least, whether that's smallest, the least believing, atheist, antichrist, that which you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. Now, this does not apply to self-defense, because if you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself. But verbal onslaught is not a defending situation. I mean, we kind of all need to learn that, because it is our knee-jerk response to pop back and fuss and cuss. Bless those that curse you. Pray for those that spitefully use you. That which you do to the least of these, my brethren, you do also unto me. We have to put Jesus' face on the people we get mad at. We have to put Jesus' face on the people that we're offended by and want to tell off. We have to put Jesus' face on everybody we see. Good, bad, and indifferent. Amen? Amen.